Alright, man. So I don't make a lot of videos often because I'm not good at it. But, you know, my name is Trey, and I'm here to give you the story about where I came up with JDM Elite Culture. Alright. So I know a lot of friends ask the question, why do you call your uh, YouTube page JDM Elite Culture? Um, well, it started out where I had a dream that I was gonna start a page based off of, Japanese cars, Japanese builds, all of them. Datsuns, 350Zs, Lexuses, you know, whatever was Japanese, I was gonna build. Nissan, obviously. I was gonna build or buy and go from there. What happened is when I got my first Japanese car, it was a Nissan Datsun. It was a 1969 280Z. Nice ass car. I really loved it a lot. But, what happened was, I was really struggling to find out what the issues of the car was. Trying to build it, had help from a few friends. I even went to Datsun owners, and it was just a real struggle to try to get people to help me out with my Datsun. So I found a guy who was actually willing to help me out with my Datsun, and I would buy parts, ask him to add it on, and me and him did a little work. And not to put the guy out there, so if you're ever watching this video, man, I apologize. I love the dude. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but I did work to the Datsun, and the Datsun was actually running. It was running. The only issue I had was the car, when you would go somewhere, it would just stop running for like maybe an hour or an hour and a half. Not that long, but it would just stop running, and I couldn't really like get into it and run it again until it took a break. It wasn't a fan or any type of issues with cooling or nothing. That was one of the issues. I'm pretty sure, if I took the engine out and cleaned it up, I'd find it. But so I got frustrated. But with how I had it, it was running very well. So I was ready to move on with the project. I had it running. I drive it around and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I'm gonna call this guy, and he's a Japanese car guy, and he can help me build on the car. So what I did was I reached out to him, asked him if he could help me out. He took the car, he worked on it, and he did a really good job. And I was very happy with it. And then, he didn't have his license, so I let him drive it around and stuff like that. And, I didn't mind anything about it. Well, a few months later, he's like, hey, I want you to get the car back, drive it around, and make sure it's okay. And I got the car back, and it just wasn't right, man. There was something wrong with it. Some things blew up in it and stuff like that. And I just didn't understand how a car that looked so pretty inside and out how it could turn into like trash, So I sold the Datsun. Well, the same guy helped me build my 350Z, and he did a wonderful job. That 350Z had everything in it that a person would want to track the car. So it was built to track, and then I'd put some things on it just to make it look more, nicer and more prettier or whatever the case may be. And for the most part, it did. That was probably one of my favorite projects. The guy who, helped me out with the Datsun, he also helped me out with the 350Z. He did a master clinic on that car. It was great. But the Datsun, for some reason, I don't know what happened with that. So like I said, I don't want to bash the guy because I like the work that he does, and he does good work. So the story is, like, I had the 350Z, and I planned to track it. I get to Texas. I was in Virginia at the time. I get to Texas. And when I get to Texas with the car, something just didn't feel right. And one of the biggest things that threw me for a loop being here in Texas, now I'm from Texas, but I had never had race cars growing up in Texas. I had a few, but the lowering thing was new, So my 350Z was lowered. It was on BC coilovers, and the 9 yards. And one thing I noticed, it's a lot of hills here, man. And the whole time I lived in Texas growing up, I had no idea that it was this many hills and ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the hood, so everything's flat. So I bring the 350Z here, and man, I'm just not freaking comfortable driving this car here, man. Everywhere I go, I'm scraping the bottom, I'm hitting hard, and to come out the driveway, I have to, obviously you got to go sideways. I'm scraping, and I just felt like the car wasn't going to live long with how many times I was banging it on the bottom of the car. And I didn't want to lift it too high because then you take away the look of the car and it looks like a regular car. So I had already had a Charger and a Challenger, and I sold the 350Z. And that basically ended all of my Japanese car dreams. So that leads me to my Nova. My Chevrolet Nova is a 1972 383 stroker with a 750 double pumper carburetor in it. 750 CFM double pumper carburetor, which I'm gonna change to EFI soon. And I like the car. I like it a lot. It runs. I don't have any issues with the car whatsoever. I'm adding to it every day. Adding things, the parts are cheap, the car is strong, and I just want to daily drive it. I can drive it around, of course. I have work to do with the suspension so it can stay on the road. And I want to drive it far, and the only way you can drive it far is by putting, you gotta put the EFI system in there. It can work with the regular, carburetor, but the EFI will definitely keep it durable and running the way I would like it to run. Don't have the funds right now, but in the future, I do plan on doing an engine swap, an LS swap, obviously. And I was gonna do an LSX, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with a Corvette engine. And that way I can have the horsepower and the quietness of the car. Some things that the Nova needs are sitting right behind me. I definitely need weather stripping because it rained one day and my whole trunk was flooded. Luckily, they put covers in the trunk and it kept it from rusting up. But I definitely need to put weather stripping. And that's really it. The handling, coilovers, and the tires in the back need to be bigger. So I did get 18s to put 275s on the back. I pray to God that they fit. If they don't, I'll update you guys. And I will paint and wrap in the future. So right now I'm just trying to get the car to where it's daily driving and it is, strong and durable to be able to handle everyday driving. Being in Texas, you have a lot of land and barely no traffic. So I would hate to have this car and not drive it far. So yeah, that is my 1972 Chevrolet Nova. I will keep the name Elite, you know, you know, elite culture, but I have to figure out, how I'm gonna do this because I don't have anything that's Japanese at all. So, you know, JDM is my first love. I still like all of the GTRs and the S13s and all of the JDM culture, but I think when it comes to the cars and the parts of the cars and what I need to get, it becomes difficult, especially with shipping and the way things are going. I think I'm gonna just stick out with this Nova, and I promised that this was gonna be my last car. So unless I get into any more money, this is probably going to be my last car. So just follow me on the journey, and I'm gonna definitely do everything I can to make this car look appealing and autocross it and see as far as I can go with it. So, all right. Thanks for following. I do not ask to like and subscribe, but I would, if you can, please do. Peace.